Are you ready? Hey, it's Gigi the Gadget Goddess, and in today's video, I want to show you some hidden features on iOS 14 beta. I've been running iOS beta, the developer's version, since release day. I'm going to show you some of the features that weren't mentioned in the event, so you'll know, when you get yours, or if you're running beta now, you'll know some things that you can do that you didn't know you could do. Shout out to Reggie and Juice, who decided to stop by and hold my crowns for me while I get this done for y'all. Let's get this thing started. First, let me tell you what devices are actually compatible with iOS 14 when it drops. The iPhone 11, 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, the iPhone XS, XS Max SR, the X, iPhone 8, 8 Plus, the iPhone 7, 7 Plus, the iPhone SE and the SE2, 6S, I'm sorry, not the 6, and the 6X Plus, and the iPod Touch 7th generation. The iPads compatible with this software are going to be all iPad Pro models, the iPad 5, 6, and 7 Gen, the iPad Mini 4 and 5, the iPad Air 2 and 3. I always thought that the weather app was decent anyway, but when I'm using my smart widget, sometimes it'll tell me, like, if there's a chance of rain coming up in the next hour or so, it tells me exactly when it's going to start. My local weather app always did this, but it was never an option on the default app for iOS, so that's an awesome option to have. I kind of like this next one. It's called sound recognition, and of course you'll have to go into settings again. You'll go into accessibility again, and you'll come down to sound recognition. Now, sound recognition I have turned off, but you can turn it on. This will notify you anytime a certain sound is heard. You got fire, siren, and smoke. Smoke, that would be a smoke detector, I'm sure. Cat or dog, so if you got pets. Certain appliances, a car horn, a doorbell, a door knock, water running, a baby crying, or shouting. So anytime, let's say you're tuned into something else, you're making a YouTube video, you got headphones on or whatever, your phone will listen for these sounds and give you an alert anytime any of these sounds is heard. I can find this very useful for somebody who has a newborn baby. Maybe their phone is somewhere near where the door and they knock, but you won't hear it, like you're going to be in the basement. This is a good feature, and I haven't heard it mentioned. Okay, I'm going to cover back tap right quick, even though I think that's the most mentioned feature I've seen in hidden features. To get to back tap, we're going to go back to settings again. So I'm going to go to accessibility, and I'm going to go to touch, and then I'm going to go down to the bottom where it says back tap, which I have on. And so for me, I have the double tap set for a screenshot and a triple tap set to mute. So if I tap the back twice, it takes a screenshot. If I tap it 3 times, I was muted before, I'm sorry, so I'm unmuted now, but tap the screen 3 times to set it back to mute because I'm working on a video. So there you go. You ever been out at a hotel or just out and about at a restaurant and wanted to use a Wi-Fi? Well, a lot of people say, yeah, use a VPN, whatever. Everybody doesn't believe in VPNs. I'm not one to say you should use one or not. But on the new iOS, whenever you're on a Wi-Fi network, you'll get the option to use private address. It's now a new feature where you can just use a private address, and it prevents the network operators from tracking your iPhone. You can fine-tune these privacy settings in features. You'll go into settings, and you'll go into Wi-Fi, and you'll go into the specific Wi-Fi network. And so within that Wi-Fi network, you can say you want to use a private address. And there you have it. I have a private address now on my home Wi-Fi. Now, we all know that under the new settings for our iOS 14, when we get a call, it doesn't take over our home screen, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call myself. So you hear me ringing, and instead of declining the call, I'll swipe it away, And you'll see up in the corner that it still shows that it's ringing. You can also hear that my phone is still calling. Instead of just declining the call and sending somebody to voicemail, you can swipe it away, it'll silence it, and then you have no worries. Even Notes got an overhaul, and if I go in and I want to search through my notes, you see I have various options: shared notes, locked notes, notes with checklists, notes with drawings, notes with scanned documents, and notes with attachments. So you can go through those, or you can just do a physical search and find what you're looking for. So that's pretty nifty for notes. Another feature for your home screen stuff is there is a home screen button here. And so you can have it set to where whenever you add a new app, it can go to your home screen, or it can just go straight to the app library. So that keeps your apps from going straight to your home screen. And your notification badges, if you don't want them to show in the app library, you turn that off. I don't need notification badges in my library, but some might. Now if I go over here, see I have all these notification badges. In case you miss them because they're not on your home screen, they're in your app library. Next up, we're going to do add an app to the library. For those who haven't experienced it, there's the app library. You can add widgets to your home screen and you can remove them. So for me, let's say I'm going to remove, or apps in general, I want to remove Swarm from my home screen, but I don't want to delete the app. I push add to library and it sends it over to the library versus deleting it off the phone. Same goes for if I want to add something to my home screen. I tap on the app itself and I say add to home screen, and there I've put it back. Okay, I don't know how many of you will like this. I find it kind of annoying. I'll use Notes. Let's say I want to copy all the members of my royal house. Here they all are. I'll say copy. Now, whenever I go into the next thing I want to do, Twitter, I go into Twitter, create my tweet, and when I go into paste, it'll say paste it from my notes. I don't see a point in wanting to know that, where I copied from and where I pasted from, because it's my information. But anytime you do that, even if you copy from Safari, if you copy from anywhere, it tells you where you got the information from previously. So that's a privacy feature in iOS 14. Now with podcast apps, you can automatically select what you want to listen to next. So you just hit up next, and let's say I want to hear gadget chats after I finish listening to whatever I'm listening to now. It'll automatically send you to the next podcast. For sleep mode, what you want to do, I'll go into health, and then what I want to do is scroll first I want to scroll all the way down to where it has what used to be called bedtime mode is now called sleep mode. So you want to tap that, and it says your device can help you get better sleep. So in sleep mode, you're going to tell your app what hours you want to sleep, and it's going to put your phone in do not disturb mode at those times. So I'm going to click next here. And so if I say I want to sleep 8 hours, they said, okay, well, what 8 hours do you want to sleep? And they'll ask me what days I want to activate this feature and from what time to what time. You can also put an alarm option here, and you can set your sound. And I'll hit the add, and now it puts it on there. And some days are unscheduled. Without a day on that schedule, no alarm go off, blah, blah, blah. So I'll hit next. And I'll hit enable, and then they'll give a wind down. Sleep mode can begin before bedtime to reduce distractions and etc., etc. So 45 minutes before, you can enable your phone to wind down. So we'll say we'll skip that. And then you can also tell the watch that you want to track your sleep. So you'll enable that. And so you've done all that, and now it's ready to go. Your phone will automatically go into do not disturb mode, so you won't get these alerts and whatnot. But you can also, let's say I've changed my mind, I got something I want to do tonight. Kimmy's streaming, so I don't want to go to sleep that early, so I can turn it on and turn it off in my control center. So the one feature you can change in the actual camera app is, and I brought up my camera, and then I go down here and say I want to make a video, I can change the resolution on the video right here in the camera app. See, it's 4K 60 now, and I've changed it to 4K 24, 4K 30, and let's say I don't want to shoot in 4K, between HD and 4K. So there you go. Now you don't have to go all the way to settings to change the resolution on your camera. I don't know why most people like to do this, but some people like their selfies to be flipped. So I used Juice to test out this feature. First, I'm going to show you a picture of Juice in regular mode. And now I'm going to show you a picture of Juice mirrored. To achieve that function, you're going to have to go into Settings, Camera, and then you go down to Mirror Front Camera and you turn that on. Quick Take is a feature that has been on the iPhone 11 series. I'm going to use Reggie over here. If I hold down the photo button, it starts shooting video. Now in iOS 14, it will do the same for the XR, the XS, and the XS Max. So Quick Take is now new to everybody with those model devices. Let's cover Quick Take for the volume buttons. We're going into settings for everything. Camera. And then I'll go down to use volume up for burst. Sorry, big phone. So now I'll go back into camera, the actual app, volume up. There are 21 photos of Juice. Let's talk about night mode. For night mode, I'm gonna have to turn the lights off to show you the features, but night mode got some improvements. So let me turn the light off right quick. And you see how dark Reggie and Juice are right now. It's so dark it defaults, and automatically you can see Reggie and Juice look better already, right? Well, let me show you this. You will notice that it helps me keep my phone steady. You see it has a cross. See, if I move away, it's gonna make the picture look bad. So you use the gyroscope to keep your picture steady when you're taking the picture. So I'll take a more steady picture of Juice here, and I'll try to keep it in the crosshairs, and there's my picture. Picture-in-picture was definitely covered on the event, but also you can now do picture-in-picture while on FaceTime. I'm not FaceTiming anybody, it's fairly early in the morning, but it allows you to do other things while you're on your phone. You know, you could take notes, you can send text messages to other friends. You know, it just doesn't get rid of it in the screen. You can multitask while you FaceTime now, so you can completely ignore the other person even though they can see you ignoring them. Another FaceTime feature, again, that I'm not going to show you now is FaceTime Eye Contact, which they did have in iOS 13 beta. They renamed it. It was previously called Attention Aware. So it told you, you know, I guess where to look to establish eye contact during a video call. So it doesn't appear you're ignoring the person. This is an accessibility feature that's for someone who uses sign language. If you are in a group FaceTime call and somebody use sign language versus talking, FaceTime will automatically make them the prominent person in the group call so people can see that they're signing versus them being small and nobody really knowing that they're trying to speak. So that's a new feature. There's a new feature on iOS called Headphone Accommodations that amplifies the sound and the tunes for your audio. So your music and movies, etc., podcasts and everything are going to sound crisper and cleaner when you go in and change the headphone accommodation. It'll give you a reminder to charge your AirPods when they are in low battery mode. So I use PowerBeat Pro, so I can't show you this because I don't really let my battery get low. But yeah, it has long battery life, so I don't usually have atypically battery low, so that's a feature I can't show you. So I'm gonna wrap this up. This has just been a guide to some of the many hidden features in iOS 14 that you may or may not have heard. I wanted to make those aware who have the developer now, and people who, when they get the iOS 14 update, they can, venture out and find some of these features if you're a techie type, or if you can find some of these useful even if you're not a techie type. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Holla!